I've built and implemented AI agents into 7 and 8 figure companies over the past year. And what I've learned is that the future of all businesses will involve AI agents and they represent the future of work. I'm going to show you everything that I learned about AI agents and other AI systems from starting my own AI development company earlier this year and scaling it to over $10,000 per month. Now, over the past however many months it's been, I've explored how AI agents can actually take on tasks that were once time consuming and repetitive, handling workflows, making decisions, and completely changing how businesses can operate. And I want to preface that I don't know how to code. I don't have a background in tech, but I've managed to quit my job this year as a project manager and do this full time, implementing systems that drive revenue and create operational leverage for businesses in various different industries. In fact, I literally got into this because I didn't enjoy my full time job and I did everything I could to find workarounds to do my job without actually doing anything. So I implemented automations and other agents to send off emails and complete my reports and do research for me autonomously. So I realized that if it could work for me in a corporate environment, then it could work for everyone else out there. So I decided to just take a risk and quit my job to invest 100% of my time into this company. So in this video, I'm going to share the key lessons from my journey thus far, what I've learned about AI agents and we are at in the world with them, and what's worked for me and what didn't, and how you can use AI agents to save hundreds of hours every year and drive tens of thousands of dollars in revenue for your company. Whether you're curious about how AI agents work, interested in starting your own AI development company, selling these solutions to business owners, or just looking for ways to optimize your operations, then this is for you, and stick around. And by the way, if you're a business owner looking to implement AI agents and other custom AI solutions into your company to increase your bottom line, then check out the link below to apply to work with us. And also, if you're serious about AI, I'm opening up 2 more spots to work directly one-on-one with me. So whether you want to start your own AI automation agency or land clients and automate your business, or just learn to build AI agents from scratch, I'll help you get from 0 to however many clients and achieve your goals. So you also get full access to my resources, templates, and in-depth tutorials. You can apply to join now using the link in the description. I'm only taking on 2 more people this month. Okay. Now let's talk about AI agents. So what they are and why they're such a big deal right now. Well, at their core, AI agents are systems designed to work autonomously. So you could think of them as tireless assistants capable of handling complex multi-step tasks without constant inputs. So unlike traditional AI tools or assistants that are reactive, like setting reminders or answering questions when prompted, these AI agents, they're actually proactive. So they don't just wait for instructions, they strategize and they make decisions and act independently based on the tasks that they have been assigned. So the key difference here between AI agents and other automation systems is the autonomy. So where traditional automations might just move data from one place to another or follow a fixed set of rules, these AI agents, they can dynamically adapt to new inputs, adjust their strategies, and even make decisions in real time. So they are combining logic, they're combining memory and tool integrations to tackle more complex problems and complex issues. So why do they matter? Well, they completely transform how businesses can actually operate by saving time, cutting costs, and increasing efficiency. So here's kind of what they can do specifically. One is handling customer communication. So from responding to inquiries to managing follow-ups, they're ensuring that no messages are going unanswered. So for one of our e-commerce clients, an AI agent automatically handled customer service inquiries and cutting response times by 75% and increasing satisfaction scores significantly. We could look at sales follow-ups and prospecting. These agents, they can identify leads, they can qualify them, and even send personalized follow-ups to nurture them through the sales funnel. So in one case, we implemented a lead follow-up system for a B2B client that boosted their conversion rates by over 30% simply by just automating their personalized check-ins with their interested prospects. We have data analysis and reporting, so they don't just have to crunch, some select numbers. They deliver actionable insights in massive data sets in minutes. In another instance, we built an AI agent for a marketing agency that actually analyzed ad campaign data and flagged underperforming campaigns and recommended optimizations, which ultimately saved the team hours every single week. So, I mean, we could look at so many different other use cases: task management and scheduling, content creation and research, financial operations. I mean, the list just goes on and on. And the reason that these systems are actually game changers is because they create operational leverage. So by automating repetitive and time-intensive tasks, businesses can actually reallocate their resources to focus on growth and strategy and other creative processes. So, I mean, instead of hiring additional team members to handle these workloads of yours, these AI agents, they can scale operations efficiently without having to increase headcount or increase overload at all. And I mean, here's where the real magic happens, is that they don't just automate your task for you. They create intelligent workflows. So, I mean, for example, a lead qualification agent. This could respond to an inbound inquiry, gather information, and schedule a meeting on your calendar, all without human intervention. So taking tasks of an entire employee, so everything that they have to do, it can basically do all this autonomously. Then we have a sales agent, where this could follow up with leads, manage a CRM, and even flag high priority opportunities for your team. And then we could have a content generation agent, which is just researching different trending topics, then drafting some posts and scheduling them and posting them across so many different platforms, whichever really suits your fancy. Now, I said this earlier, but what I've learned from actually building and implementing these systems into businesses is that AI agents, they represent the future of work. They're no longer just simple tools. They are literally teammates. So whether you're running a small business, working in a corporate role, or building your own AI solutions, these AI agents, they can save you hundreds of hours every single year, reduce costs, drive significant revenue. They're freeing up your time so that you can focus on what really matters, which is focusing on the strategy, the creativity, and building relationships within your business. So, I mean, here's the best part of all of this, is that you don't need to be a coder or a tech wizard to use them. So, I mean, platforms like N8N and LangChain, they have made it easier than ever to build and deploy these systems, even for non-technical users. So, I mean, I went to university, I went to Ohio State, and I didn't learn a lick of coding. I studied communications, and I didn't learn any coding in high school. Everything that I know now, it just took some time and understanding what I wanted to do. And really, most of what you can do, so I do have a loose understanding, I should say, of coding, but you don't have to know how to code. You can use low and no code tools like N8N, Make.com, Zapier. I'm going to reference N8N a lot in this video because that's the best AI agent builder on the marketplace right now, and I've tested out plenty of different ones. But anyways, now that you understand what AI agents are and why they matter, let's actually break them down piece by piece. So you could think of an AI agent as a highly efficient, tireless team member, but for that team member to perform, it needs a brain, a memory, a set of tools, and just clear instructions to follow. So I mean, these components, they work together to create what we call an autonomous system. So first, we have the core agent, and this is like the brain, part of the agent that decides what to do and when to do it. It analyzes inputs, it determines the next best steps, and ensures the agent behaves in a way that actually aligns with its purpose. So for example, we built a customer support agent for an e-commerce business that I previously mentioned. So when a customer asked about their order status, the agent accessed the database, it retrieved the relevant information, and sent an update, all without any human intervention whatsoever. So the core of this agent was responsible for piecing just everything together to make that happen. So the key here is the integration. So the brain connects all the components like the memory, the tools, and instructions to create a seamless workflow. So I mean, without it, you just have a collection of disjointed type of processes. Next up, we have the memory, and the memory is just what allows the agent to learn and retain context over time. So I mean, imagine having an assistant who remembers every conversation, every task, every preference. So that's what memory does for an AI agent. So for example, in one project, we built a sales agent for a SaaS company, and the agent remembered each lead's previous interactions, allowing it to just craft a personalized follow-up. So I mean, this level of continuity, it resulted in a 30% increase in response rates. Now, behind the scenes, this kind of memory is often powered by vector databases like Pinecone. So Pinecone being just one of many different options. There's Supabase, Weaviate, whatever. But anyways, these databases like Pinecone, they don't just store raw data, they actually represent it in a mathematical vectors. So this just captures the meaning meaning and the context of this information. So I'll get into this a little bit later, but I'll just give you an example. In one of our projects, I believe this was for a recruiting agency. So we used Pinecone to actually store the candidate profiles in the previous conversations and job requirements. So the agent from here could then quickly retrieve the most relevant candidates for a specific role, even if the phrasing was ideal, exact type of match that they're requesting. But good memory, it just reduces any redundancy. So instead of starting from scratch with every task that you do, the agent just builds on what it already knows, making it faster and more efficient. Now we then have the tools. So in AI agents, tools are what allows it to take action. So these can be APIs, they can be third-party integrations or other workflows that you've designed. You can think of these tools as the agent's hands. The agent is going to interact with everything around it. For instance, when we developed a prospecting agent, we integrated tools like LinkedIn and email APIs. So the agent automatically researched prospects and sent tailored emails and even scheduled calls based on a recipient's availability. The more tools that you're giving your agent, the more capable it comes. So make sure you're giving the agent exactly what it needs for the job at hand. For example, if you needed to send emails to your customers and you guys use Outlook, you'll have to give it that integration of Outlook, connect everything up, sync all that data. Now, finally, we have the most important one and what we spend most time on when building systems for clients, which is prompting. And this is the set of instructions that guides the agent's actions. So with prompting, I like to think of it as the playbook. It tells the agent what tools it can use and how to approach specific tasks. So for one of our clients, again, I'll just go back to that recruitment agency. We developed an agent for them that evaluated candidates and their resumes. So the prompt outlined every single step, analyze the resume, match skills to job descriptions, and prioritize candidates based on qualifications. So the results here, they came about to a 50% reduction in time spent on initial screening. Yeah, I mean, it goes without being said, a well-crafted prompt is the difference between an agent that works maybe 80% of the time and one that works 90% of the time, or 97% of the time, I should say. So it's just setting the foundations for everything that the agent does and is going to do. Now, when these components, they come together, the brain, the memory, tools and prompting, you get a system that's not just reactive, but proactive and capable of making decisions and handling tasks autonomously. So it's this combination that makes AI agents game changers for the future. In the next section, we'll just dive into the fuel that powers these agents, which is data and context. So if you think the components of this are impressive, just wait until you see how these work with the right data behind them. So data and context. Think of data as the raw materials and context as the blueprint. So without both, even the most advanced agent is like a car without any gas, or worse, a car trying to drive without a map, or just not knowing where to go, considering we don't really use maps. Well, data is the lifeblood of any AI agent. It's what allows the agent to analyze and decide and act. Quality and the structure and recency of your data determines how effectively the agent can actually perform. So for example, we built a CRM management agent for our client in the SaaS industry, as I brought them up earlier. Well, this agent, it analyzed customer behavior patterns to predict churn, and it triggered personalized retention campaigns just automatically. So, I mean, here's where the catch was. It worked because the client's data was clean and up to date and actually organized. So this was kind of contingent on the system working. So if your data is messy, if it's outdated, if it's incomplete, your agent will make poor decisions. It's not magic, it's garbage in, garbage out. So I mean, that's why the first step in building any AI agent at all is ensuring that your data pipeline is actually solid and intact. So now for the context, it gives data its meaning. So without context, an agent might just misinterpret the data it receives and produce irrelevant or even harmful results. So for example, let's say you're building a scheduling agent. The agent needs to understand not just the times in your calendar, but also your priorities. So like whether a client meeting takes precedence over a team lunch, that's just context, and it's just important as the data itself. So to talk about context, we also have to talk about vector databases. Now, vector databases, we brought them up a little bit earlier. They allow the agents to retrieve information based on relevance and not not just keywords. So in one of our projects for a marketing agency, we use Pinecone to store client briefs, campaign details, and performance metrics. So the agent could then just generate personalized performance reports for each client, even when the queries weren't exact matches. So this kind of contextual retrieval transformed how the agency actually interacted with their clients. So with vector databases, the agent doesn't just pull data, it understands the relationships between data points, which allows it to act intelligently in dynamic scenarios. So one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make is treating data as something that's static. But in reality, data isn't static, it's always changing. So when we built a lead enrichment agent for a real estate firm, it was critical that the agent pull the latest marketing trends and property details and lead responses. So I mean, if any of this info was outdated, the agent's actions would be irrelevant or just totally rendered useless. That's why automations for continuous data ingestion are crucial, especially within an industry such as real estate. So like the emails and the CRM updates and the website interactions, all this needs to flow seamlessly into your database to keep your agent in sync with reality. So you might have heard the term retrieval augmented generation, short for RAG. And this is the process where an agent just pulls data from a vector database and uses it to craft its responses or decisions. Like if a client asks your customer support agent about a specific invoice, the agent doesn't just guess, it retrieves the invoice details, it understands the context at hand and responds accurately. So why does it matter at all? Well, because data and context are what separate functional agents from dysfunctional ones. So they're the foundation of everything that your agent does. So if you invest the time to clean, organize, and maintain your data pipeline, you'll set your agent up for success. And now that we've covered the main components of AI agents and how critical data and context are, let's talk about building agents that actually work. So this is where the magic is going to happen, but it's also where a lot of people trip up. So I mean, the key here is having a clear plan before you dive in. So you don't start just building a house without blueprints. And the same exact formula applies here. And I call this the agent design framework, which is just a step-by-step approach to building agents that are reliable and efficient and of course scalable. So the first step in building any agent is knowing exactly what you want it to do. The more specific that you are, the better results will be. So when we built a lead qualification agent for that SaaS client, the objective was pretty clear. It was to qualify inbound leads by asking predefined questions and score them based on responses and even schedule a call if they met the criterias. So I mean, without this clarity, the agent would have just lacked focus and likely failed to deliver anything at all. So I mean, once you have the objective, the next step is to just map out the entire workflow. So break the process down into individual steps. So like in that lead qualification agent, the workflow kind of looked like this, where number one, it would detect a new lead in the CRM. From there, it was going to send a personalized email, then wait for the lead's response, analyze the response and score the lead. And lastly, just schedule a meeting if the score is high enough. So we had to set up a specific threshold to find out what should be depicted and determined as a qualified lead and what's a bad score. So we had to find that line. So I mean, just by breaking it down like this, you can design an agent that's just modular and easy to troubleshoot. Next is to equip your agent with the right tools. And these are the APIs and the integrations and workflows it will need to do its job. So for instance, our lead qualification agent used a CRM API to retrieve lead data, an email API to send personalized responses, and a scheduling tool to book meetings automatically. So the tools that you choose will depend on the agent's purpose, and they must integrate seamlessly within everything to actually avoid any bottlenecks within the workflows. So here's just a quick checklist when selecting tools that I usually prefer to. So I kind of always have this in the back of my mind without having something too strict like a SOP. I would just kind of ask myself, are they reliable? Can I scale with this? Do they align with the agent's purpose in what it's trying to do? And are there alternative workflows if one of these tools fails? So, I mean, by thinking this through, you can avoid so many headaches later. I could tell you that from firsthand experience and building out numerous different client projects where we've run into issues along these lines. But anyways, so let's move on. And similarly to what we discussed earlier, memory is crucial. So this is where tools like vector databases, they come into play. So when building that customer service agent for our e-commerce client, we used Pinecone to store customer customer interactions and their order histories and FAQs, the frequently asked questions. So this just allowed the agent to provide accurate and personalized responses, even for some complex queries. So just think about the data your agent will need to reference. Is it past customer conversations? Is it product inventory, team schedules? Just build a memory system that gives your agent the context that it's going to need. So from there, the prompt is your agent's playbook. It's going to tell the agent what its job is, what tools it can use, and how to handle specific scenarios. For example, a recruitment agent's prompt might look something like this, where we have an objective. So the objective here is to source and qualify candidates for open roles. Then we have the context, which is we're hiring for a tech company, and the roles require specific skills. For the tools, we have things like LinkedIn API, email API, scheduling API, or Gmail, Outlook, Slack, HubSpot, Asana. For the instructions, something like find candidates, assess their resumes, and schedule interviews. And then examples. So just include some sample resumes and desired actions. Examples will take your output from something like a 90% success rate to 98 or 99 success rate. So the more detailed that your prompt is, the more reliable that your agent will be. And finally, you just need to test your agent in real world scenarios. So run it through edge cases, monitor its performance, and just refine it until it's actually rock solid. So for instance, just during our testing, our scheduling agent, it struggled with overlapping time zones. So after tweaking the prompt and tweaking the workflow, it handled all the scheduling pretty flawlessly. So testing is just where you iron out all these different types of issues. So building these agents, it's not just about putting the pieces together. You really have to think strategically at every step along the way. So that's why you want to define the clear objectives and map the workflows and select the right tools and build memory and craft strong prompts. And of course, test it thoroughly so that you can create agents that are going to deliver real value. Because, if you're going to want to implement this for your business or clients, they're not going to want any shit agents that fail after 2 weeks. Now let's get into some of the challenges when it comes to actually building these AI agents. So I just want to preface that building these agents, it can be incredibly rewarding and I love it, but let me tell you, it's not without its challenges. So while these systems, they do have huge potential, there are a few common roadblocks that can trip you up if you're just not prepared for them or, don't know what to look out for. So in this segment, I guess, I don't know what if I call these segments, but in this part of the video, I'm going to share some of the biggest challenges that I've faced when building these agents myself and for my clients, and more importantly, how you can actually overcome them. So the first challenge is data quality. So I said this before, agents are only as good as the data that you give them. If the data is outdated, incomplete, or inconsistent, your agent's performance will suffer. It'll be crap. Like when we built that customer service agent, again, going back to the e-com client, we initially struggled just because their customer database had some missing order details and duplicate entries. So the agent couldn't provide accurate answers, which just frustrated the users. So the fix here was implementing an automated data cleaning pipeline before actually feeding the database into the agent. So we standardized the data, if you will, which just helped the agent's accuracy improve. Honestly, we probably wouldn't have been able to build the system and deliver it with sound results like we did if we hadn't done that. Another common challenge that I found is balancing flexibility and structure. So if your agent is just too rigid, it won't adapt to unexpected situations. But if it's too flexible, it can behave unpredictably. So I'll try to name another project. So we built an agent for managing email follow-ups. So initially, the instructions, they were just too vague, and the agent started just crafting overly casual messages that just didn't really match the client's tone or standards, to say the least. So after tightening the instructions and adding more complex, or really just more examples, it's not too complex, the agent ended up finding the right balance. Another challenge, agents will fail. Your agents will fail. It's just inevitable. The key here is how to handle those failures. So when we tested one of our agents, it was a lead enrichment agent. We found that it often failed when it couldn't find data for a specific lead. So instead of just gracefully moving on, it would get stuck and just stop processing other tasks. So what we had to do, we just solved this. It really didn't take so long. We solved this by adding fallback workflows. So now if the agent hits a dead end, it just logs the issue, notifies a human via our Slack channel. So all the devs and I, we're just in a Slack channel where we have, just an example. It's called client errors, where anytime we have an error, it will post in our channel, here's the system that's broken, here's the error, and then we'll know to go investigate it. So, I mean, we get paid to run maintenance and fix stuff like this whenever it goes down. I mean, at the end of the day, we're building these systems to work and never break. So, I mean, it's very rare that we do have these issues. And sometimes we'll just get notified, even if it just doesn't work for one specific workflow or one process and then continues running. But you get the idea. This is just going to allow you to continue working on more and more things, despite it failing for one specific thing. Also gives you a chance to be notified when something goes down and allows you to investigate why. So, I mean, it's also pretty important to remember to also set realistic expectations. So sometimes clients expect these agents to be perfect or maybe worse. So sometimes clients, they expect these agents to be literally perfect or worse, to replace human employees entirely, which, I mean, in a sense, it's what we try to do and what the moral of agents are there for, to replace these employees. But I mean, while they do handle a lot, they're not infallible. And at times they will need human oversight, especially if we're working on something that's more experimental. So it's just important to set clear and realistic expectations. And this just more so applies to if you're trying to start your own development company. So just set the right expectations. It sets and ensures that everyone else is on the same page. They know what to expect and keeps you guys, liable. So lastly, I found that it is very tough to keep things up to date. So the technology, if you couldn't tell, it's rapidly changing every day. Tomorrow, there might be a better no or low code AI agent building platform than N8N, or maybe a better vector database. So as an AI development company, it's literally our jobs to provide our clients and our future clients with the best methods and the best practices and technologies, whatever. So, I mean, if we don't adapt, we'll be pushed aside and rendered inferior to our competition, which is pretty steep. So overall, the challenges, they are inevitable when building AI agents, but there are also opportunities to improve if you look at it that way. So by addressing these issues head on and cleaning up your data, simplifying your workflows, building fallback systems, and managing expectations, you can actually create awesome agents that are reliable and super impactful. So with that being said, in the next portion of the video, we'll kind of shift gears and just look at what's next for AI agents and how they're set to transform industries even further. Now, we've covered a lot about how AI agents work and how to build them and the challenges involved. Let's take a holistic view of everything and talk about what's next. So the future of AI agents, it isn't just about doing more, it's about redefining how businesses can actually operate and how we interact with this new and exciting technology. So today, most AI agents, they need clear instructions and guidance to function properly. But in the near future, we're going to see agents that are far more autonomous. So, I mean, imagine agents that can set their own goals and identify tasks that need to be done and figure out the best ways to accomplish them without any constant input. So, like, for example, a sales agent that's just not only sending follow-ups, but also identifies new lead sources, optimizes outreach strategies, and adjusts the messages based on performance. I mean, this is possible now, but, it'll only be more and more capable. So, I mean, this level of autonomy could totally revolutionize any industry. Another trend we're already seeing is the rise of multi-agent systems. So this is just networks of specialized agents that collaborate to achieve one common goal. So we worked on building a team of agents for a client that managed lead generation, scheduling, and follow-ups. So, I mean, each agent focused on its own task, but communicated seamlessly with all the other agents. So, I mean, this approach, it not only boosted efficiency, but it also made the system more resilient to errors, as you might expect. I mean, it's kind of inevitable. But anyways, one of the most exciting developments is the integration of agents into the tools that we already use. So imagine an agent embedded in your CRM that not only manages data, but also manages trends and flags opportunities and suggests strategies in real time. Or maybe even a scheduling agent that'll just integrate with Slack and automatically sets up meetings and updates everyone involved. So, I mean, this seamless integration will just make agents an essential part of daily workflows. It might sound like science fiction, but the core concept of agents building other agents is aspirational, but it's kind of grounded in current research trends from what I found. So, I mean, it's even plausible in a limited form soon. And as a framework evolves, the gap between these aspiration and reality, they're just closing down. And we're really seeing those gaps get smaller. So, overall, the future of AI agents, it's super exciting. And the best part is that we're still in the early stages. So, by understanding these trends and preparing now, you can position yourself to not only keep up, but lead the way in this rapidly evolving space. And just quickly, I wanted to mention, if you are serious about AI, I have a couple of other slots that I just opened up for the rest of this month where you can work directly one-on-one with me. You can apply to join that down below and find out more information on that. Now, I'm going to be as transparent as possible. We're going to talk about something completely different, but to start off, I guarantee if you're watching this video, you've seen people all over the internet right now talk about how easy it is to start an AI company or an AI agency. So many different terms for it. An AIA, well, it's not, and it is. Building the solutions, you don't have to have a background in coding or any crazy background, whatever. You can learn how to build solutions in just a day. You can also get clients pretty easily if you think critically and think about your plan of action. But to maintain a reputable company, a reputable agency, and deliver solutions consistently and source clients consistently, it's tough work. I work 14 hours every single day, but I don't mind because I love it. Starting an AI development company, it's been one of the most challenging and rewarding experiences of my life. I didn't start with a background in tech or coding, as I've said, I don't know, 10 times in this video, but I did start with a clear goal, and that's to just solve real problems using AI. So I wanted to break this down into just 4 different steps. And number 1 is to start with a problem, not the solution. So one of the first lessons that I learned was to focus on solving specific, tangible problems for clients. And early on, I worked with a marketing agency that was struggling to follow up with leads. So they had a list of prospects just literally just sitting there, collecting dust. And by building a lead nurturing agent for them, I automated follow-ups based on leads' behavior, increasing their conversions by 30%. And this wasn't just about selling them on AI, it was about delivering the results. Please remember this: value is created where pain is alleviated. Let that stick with you. Number 2 is to position your value clearly. So just another key insight was that businesses, they don't care about the technology itself. They care about what it can do for them. So when pitching clients, I focused on how AI agents could save them time, reduce costs, and increase revenue. So for example, I once told a client, this system will save your team 20 hours a week on reporting tasks. So, I mean, that's just a far more compelling pitch than rattling off just some technical jargon like AI chatbot connected to vector databases and store all your information, whatever. Number 3 is testing and iteration are everything. So my early projects, they had issues because I didn't account for the edge cases. So for example, I built an email sorting agent that worked 90% of the time, but the 10% failure rate caused so much confusion in their company. So I learned from this specifically to test thoroughly and iterate often. So this just made my systems not just functional, but actually reliable. And last but not least is number 4, to build your own processes. So running this company, it just taught me the importance of systemizing my own workflows, whether it was creating reusable templates for CRM integrations or automating client onboarding. I just learned to use the same tools that I was selling to streamline my business. So I use agents to track project statuses, send follow-ups, and manage my schedule, all of which just frees up time so that I could focus on scaling my business and recording videos like this to get out to you guys and provide value to you. So if you're thinking about starting your own AI development company, just remember this: focus on the client's needs, learn by doing, and always build systems that are as efficient for you as they are for clients. So to transition a little bit, starting an AI development company, it is one of the most exciting and rewarding journeys that you can embark on, at least if you would to start right now. But let's be honest, and I've definitely evoked this, but it's also a challenge. So I'm just going to kind of blend my experience starting out and growing my business and focusing on actionable steps for building your company and finding clients so that you can sustain it. So step number 1, let's just get this out of the way. Understand the opportunity. These agents, And automations, they're transforming businesses by solving problems like repetitive tasks and inefficient workflows and operational bottlenecks. But before diving in, just identify the industries or roles where you see the most potential. Think about the sectors that deal with a high volume of repetitive work, like marketing, sales, accounting, customer service. Like when I started, I noticed marketing agencies were struggling to follow up with leads quickly. So by building AI agents that automated follow-ups and tracked engagement, I was able to save my clients hours and help them convert more leads. Pain is alleviated. Value is created where pain is alleviated. Remember that. Number two is to define your niche. So when you're starting out, it's pretty tempting to offer solutions to everyone, but this often will just backfire. So niche down. Choose a specific industry or problem to solve. Become an expert in a focused area. This will allow you to refine your offers and build a reputation as a specialist, which is going to be so important within the next decade, because people are going to want to hire specialists within the industry, not generalists. Somebody who does automations for, let's say, a car company. They're not going to want to hire that person who does everything for their lead generation agency. So I started working with small businesses who just needed automation for lead management and CRM updates. So like marketing agencies, this focus, it just helped me quickly build a portfolio and gain credibility in that niche. Now, perhaps in the start, to maybe just get your first client or first testimonial, you could just apply to whatever and throw something at the wall and see what sticks, and then niche down into that. That might be the best route, but it's always recommended you have to eventually niche down. It's inevitable. Step 3 is to leverage your warm network. And I learned this from Alex Hormozi. So the easiest and fastest way to land your first client is through people that you already know. So reach out to former colleagues, friends, family members who might benefit from what you offer. So don't hesitate to offer your services for free or at a reduced cost for the first project. In fact, I encourage you to do that. So this just gives you the opportunity to gain experience, and experience is by far the most invaluable thing that you can achieve right now. And from here, you could showcase the result and generate testimonials from them. So they'll be more than happy to generate a testimonial if you deliver results for free. At the very least, that's what they should be offering in return for your services. So one of my early projects involved automating email follow-ups for a former coworker's business. So, it was a pretty simple project, but the results spoke volumes. So saving their team 10 hours per week and increasing engagement by 30%. I turned that into a case study that helped me land my next client. So it just kind of comes full circle, and you'll see that it will pay dividends. Number 4, kind of just a run on from the last one, is to build the case studies and the testimonials. So once you complete your first project, focus on creating compelling case studies. So these are going to be the golden tickets to attracting more clients. So highlight the problem you solved, the solution you implemented, and the measurable results that you achieved. So for example, you have the problem. This company's leads were falling through the cracks due to slow follow-ups. Then show the solutions. We built an AI agent that automated lead tracking and follow-up emails. The results. So we saved 10 hours per week and increased conversions by 25%. So if you pair these case studies with testimonials from satisfied clients to build credibility and trust with potential prospects, you're golden. Number 5 is inbound marketing. So just share your knowledge. So inbound marketing, it's a powerful way to attract clients organically. It's completely free, usually. So share your journey, expertise, and results online. So platforms like YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, it can help you reach a wider audience. I've personally seen incredible results from posting long form videos and short form videos explaining how AI agents have transformed businesses and what they can do and what they can do for your business and what they've done for my business, whatever. So, even a short LinkedIn post about an AI agent that I built for CRM management, in that it generated multiple inquiries within days. So, when sharing content, just focus on some real world examples and actionable tips and client success stories. So this will allow you to kind of just position yourself as a helpful expert, not just someone selling services. So this is kind of the biggest one, outbound marketing, also known as just cold outreach, really. So, if inbound marketing takes time to gain traction, which it does, cold outreach, it's what you should always be doing. On top of inbound, you should be doing at least those two at all times. So it's going to take some time for your inbound. So in the meantime, you want to run cold outreach messages. So it's a more just immediate way to get clients. So use personalized emails, DMs, or even phone calls to connect with prospects. So the key here is to focus on their pain point and offering a clear solution as a result of it. So again, value is created where pain is alleviated. So in these emails, instead of saying I build AI agents, I might say I help small businesses automate repetitive tasks like lead follow-ups and scheduling, saving them 10 plus hours a week. So make sure to keep your outreach concise and personalized and focused on the value that you are actually bringing. And step number 7, this is kind of just another kicker, but super helpful and super value additive. So utilize freelance platforms. Look at Upwork, even Fiverr. I think Upwork might be a better alternative, but platforms like Fiverr and Upwork, they're great for finding your first few clients and getting those testimonials. Many businesses, they're actively searching for automation and AI solutions, and you can get paid while building your portfolio. So, I mean, even if the pay isn't great initially, the experience, the testimonials and case studies that you gain, they're literally so invaluable. So when I started, this wasn't kind of what allowed me to get traction, but I landed a few Upwork gigs just building small automation workflows, and they were paid too. I made thousands of dollars from those. So these projects, they gave me confidence and credibility that I needed to pursue larger clients later on, which I am working with now. And last but not least is to scale with systems. So as you grow, you'll need to develop systems to just manage your workload and scale your operations. So this just includes setting up repeatable processes for onboarding clients and projects and delivering the best results possible. So, I mean, you can even use the same automation tools that you built for your clients to streamline your own business or vice versa. So, I mean, I use my own AI agents to handle tasks like invoicing, scheduling, and client updates. So, I mean, this not only just saves me time, but also allows me to focus on growing my business and working on high value projects. So, I mean, you shouldn't focus on this right away, but it's nice to have. But I mean, overall, getting clients in the AI space, it requires persistence and just adaptability and a value driven approach. So, I mean, whether it's just warm connections, inbound content, or cold outreach, focus on solving real problems and delivering results. In my paid community, you get 24/7 access to me to ask any questions regarding client acquisition in live calls. And we're in the process of even building out easy to follow modules that will guarantee that you get your first client in this space. So check that out, links in the description. But yeah, guys, that's really everything that I wanted to share. I really thank you guys so much for watching this video and honestly all my previous videos. But I hope this kind of just gives you guys valuable insights into the world of AI agents and how they work and how you can leverage them to just transform your business or even start your own AI development company if that's what you're on the path of. And anyways, before you guys go, if you're a business owner looking to implement AI agents and other AI solutions into your company to increase your bottom line, then check out the link below to apply to work with us directly. And also, if you are serious about AI, I'm opening up 2 more slots to work directly one-on-one with me. So whether you want to start your own AI automation agency and land clients, automate your business, or learn to build AI agents from scratch, I will help you get from 0 to 1 to 10 clients or achieve your goals, whatever they may be. You'll get full access to my resources, templates, and in-depth tutorials. You can apply to join now using the link in the description. I'm only taking on 2 more people this month. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like the video because it really helps me out. And with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.